Hello and welcome to another edition of our Journey to Debt Freedom. I am Sheila Wilkinson-Sanders, and as we continue on our journey during Financial Literacy Month, I want to talk a little bit more in depth on a topic that we've talked about before, and that is wealth building. When we first started on your budget, I asked you to determine what your liabilities were. So you should somewhere in your spreadsheet know how much you owe in outstanding debt right now. So that should be a really easy number to come up with. The other number that you want to come up with is how much you have in assets. Because to determine your wealth, your net worth, you want to take your assets, subtract your liabilities, and that tells you how much you are worth. Now, here's a very disturbing statistic. In the U.S. today, this was in 2014, excuse me, they did this survey, and the net worth of the average American is about $140,000. The average net worth of an American of color is $11,000. $11,000 is the net worth of the average American of color. So I want you to figure out that number and figure out where you fall in there. The average net worth, your average net worth, should be in the 7 digits, not in the 6 digits, particularly if you're planning on retiring soon. Let's just do some simple math here. And it's maybe a little bit more complicated because I know I'm a math major and I'm into numbers and all, but let's just talk about this a little bit. So let's say you are age 50 right now and you want to retire at age 65. And let's assume that when you retire, you're going to be debt free. But you still have to live, right? So you're going to have utilities, you're going to have groceries, you're going to have maintenance on your car, you're going to have maintenance on your house if you own your house. God forbid you're not renting, because then, your monthly expenses are going to add on quickly. If you're in a condo, you're going to have association fees, you're going to have taxes. So you want to add up what you assume your monthly expenses are going to be when you are debt free. Multiply that times 12. That tells you how much you will have to have per year, assuming you retire today. Now I'm going to complicate that a little more down the road, but let's go back and let's assume that you plan to live to the age of 90. So that means you're going to live 25 years. So let's assume a simple number of $5,000 times 12. That's $60,000 a year. For 25 years, that's 1.5 million, right? Assuming today's dollars. Now, the market increases 3 to 5% per year, so you would have to do the compounding on that to determine how much that would be in future dollars. Now, I know I'm getting a little complicated now, so I want to put a little disclaimer in here to say that you should talk to your financial planner, your financial advisor. If you don't have one, give me a call and I can give you the names of some. But I just wanted to illustrate for you very quickly to show you that you can't have a net worth of $140,000 and plan to have peace of mind, which is where we're gaining and where we're trying to go to here with this journey to debt freedom. So you need to start working on that now. You need to start working on that financial plan to have enough assets to have that peace of mind. Now, we talked about 401ks. Yes, we talked about having that liquid fund. So let's talk about what an asset is. An asset is something that has current value. So those red bottom pumps that you have, that's not an asset. Sorry. Okay. Your car may or may not be an asset. You want to look at your blue book value, determine how much you owe, and that tells you how much, if something emergency happened that you had to liquidate that car, how much of that is really an asset. So you want to look and determine your current position, your current net worth position, and then start to plan with your financial planner how you get to that goal 15, 20, 25 years down the road. Yes? All right. So, one of the quickest way I tell people to start to build their asset portfolio is with real estate. It makes no sense, and I can show some illustrations in a later video on the money spent on rent compared to the money spent on a home, and how over time, in a short period of time, you start to gain assets. Interest rates are still like below 4% in many cases. It's unheard of. I tell the story when I bought my first house, interest rates were at 18%. 18. Can you imagine? Interest rates were at 18%. And so I was able to negotiate a deal with the owner where the owner financed me at 11%. And I was grateful for that 11%. Of course, as soon as rates got down to the single digits, I refinanced that house and then I sold it for a profit. But you want to start to build assets. So, I told you, max out your 401k. Make sure you're putting at least 10% aside per month. But start to determine where your wealth position is now and where you want to be in 5, 10, 15 years. You want to start to become a wealthy person. And that starts today. So start to determine where you need to be. If real estate is in your picture, please feel free to call me. If it's other investments, which I strongly recommend having a diversified portfolio with stocks, with bonds, with money markets, with short-term liquid funds for that rainy day. But you need to start on that now. While you're reducing your debt, you need to start increasing your assets. I hope this information was beneficial to you. Remember to stay focused. Remember to stay faithful. Remember to stay committed. I'm Sheila Wilkinson-Sanders, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I look forward to our next time together on our journey to debt freedom.